What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going over 10 things WWE doesn't want you to know about Kurt Angle, and coming in at number 10 we have his restraining order. After a rough divorce with Karen Angle, Kurt Angle started to date Raka Khan, who was a TNA knockout. The two ended up living together in Angle's home located in Pennsylvania. But things started to get bad, and in 2009, Angle was arrested for allegedly stalking Khan while at Starbucks. The two decided to not contact one another, and she dropped the PFA charges. It might have been difficult and weird for them to ignore each other because they were both working at TNA. TNA wanted to make it easier for both of them, which is why they released Khan from her contract just weeks after the arrest. Only 6 months later, and Angle would get engaged to Giovanna Yanati. They would go on and get married, eventually having 3 children. Number 9, his sister's death. On September 16, 2003, Angle and Brock Lesnar had one of the best matches in WWE history. It was a 60-minute Iron Man match on SmackDown. Even though Angle lost the match, he put on a wrestling clinic, and it was even named Match of the Year by PWI. However, many people don't know that this match just came 24 hours after Angle's older sister, Leanne, passed away from a heroin overdose. One can only imagine what it's like to suddenly lose a family member to a cause of death like that, and then still go out to perform for millions. It's quite possible that he had an amazing match as a dedication for his sister. Number 8, WWE rejected him to return in 2014. Kurt Angle is finally returning and making his first appearance on WWE television in over 10 years at this year's Hall of Fame. However, he was originally going to return way back in 2014 if he had his way. After his TNA contract expired in late 2014, Angle and the WWE talked about him making his long-awaited return. While WWE only wanted him to be a full-time employee, Angle wanted a part-time schedule. This led to the two sides to not agreeing on a deal. He would then end up signing another part-time deal with TNA that ended in March 2016. After that TNA contract expired, Angle has been wrestling in the independents, and we still don't know if this Hall of Fame induction is a one-time deal or if Angle will compete once again in the WWE ring at AJ Styles. Number 7, his 1996 ECW appearance. After 2 months of winning a gold medal at the Olympics, Angle went to an ECW event from a request of a friend, Shane Douglas. Angle was interviewed in the ring and also was a guest commentator for Taz's match. Then, in the main event, Raven tied up Sandman to a cross using barbed wires and basically crucified him with Sandman's 7-year-old son right next to him. Obviously, this did not go over well with Paul Heyman, who actually forced Raven to apologize in the ring. Angle was afraid that he could possibly be associated with this act. As an Olympic gold medalist, Angle was worried the imagery of the crucifixion would damage his career prospects, so he threatened to sue Paul Heyman if he was not cut from the broadcast. Number 6, failing a UFC medical test. In 2011, at the age of 42, Kurt Angle had dreams to compete in MMA and even contacted UFC President Dana White. Dana offered Angle a spot on the 10th season of The Ultimate Fighter. Angle accepted the invitation, but he had to first pass all the medical testing in order to be allowed to fight. Unfortunately, due to all injuries he sustained, he could not pass the test, and that would prevent him from ever appearing on the show or even any MMA fight. It certainly would have been really interesting to see if Angle could have made that transition to MMA. He could have also been one of the very few to be in the WWE as well as UFC. Number 5, his multiple arrests. After leaving WWE in 2006, Angle's personal life spiraled out of control. In 2007, he nearly ran over a woman while driving, which later caused to an arrest and charges with a DUI and careless driving. Later in March of 2011, he was arrested for being drunk behind the wheel, but not while actually driving, and was subsequently charged with being in control with the motor vehicle while intoxicated. 5 months later, and he was again arrested for a DUI and reckless driving. He completed the Grand Slam by being arrested again in 2013 for driving while intoxicated, and he would check into a rehab center later that day. Thankfully, Angle has been taking rehab more seriously, which has been extremely successful, and he has been sober for the last 4 years. Number 4, his WWE suspension. Even though Angle used a lot of painkillers, he never failed one of those drug tests in the WWE. However, he did violate the steroid wellness policy, which he took because his prescription for pain pills never arrived on time. This would cause him to be suspended for 30 days. Shortly after returning to the ring in the summer of 2006 from his suspension, Angle could no longer handle the full-time schedule and asked for his WWE release. Angle went out and said that he felt like he was cheating Vince McMahon by not being able to perform at the highest level he could. This wasn't the only time he was caught with steroid allegations. In 2007, Angle's name was found in a client database of a wellness center that was suspected of providing PEDs. Angle responded to that by saying that he received prescriptions and the doctor had given them to him. Number 3, losing his wife to his boss. Kurt Angle was married to Karen Angle for 10 years while having 2 children. They were together when he started his WWE career all the way through the beginning of his TNA career. However, they had an ugly divorce in 2008. A few months later, and Karen started to date Jeff Jarrett, aka TNA's co-founder. This whole issue forced TNA's president Dixie Carter to give Jeff Jarrett time off from the company. Karen would later become Karen Jarrett when they married in 2010. This is very similar to Triple H breaking up with China and then marrying Stephanie McMahon. In a sense, Kurt Angle is kind of the China of TNA. Number 2, Daniel Puder. While Tough Enough was on season 4 of the show, Kurt Angle invited the finalists to the ring during a SmackDown episode. After setting up a competition for the contestants, the winner of the challenge was awarded an unscripted match with Kurt Angle. Angle quickly destroyed the winner by making him tap out. Angle then challenged anyone else, and Daniel Puder stepped up to the challenge. Since Puder was a former MMA fighter, he knew some proper holds. Puder put Angle in the Kimura lock. This move can easily snap an arm. The referee in the ring quickly sensed what was happening, and before Angle could tap out or have his arm snapped, he counted Puder's shoulders down on the mat even though they were clearly not. Kurt Angle was furious, embarrassed, and he yelled at Puder backstage. Puder's career only went downhill from this moment. And number 1, how he left WWE. Angle and Vince McMahon left on really bad terms. Angle in 2006 wanted a similar schedule to Shawn Michaels, who would only show up on Raw tapings. Vince McMahon instead wanted him to work a full-time schedule. This led to Vince McMahon and Kurt Angle having a huge argument. After he left and got released, Angle would talk a lot of shit about John Cena and Batista. And a couple weeks ago, once Angle returned, he went to apologize to Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon instead stopped him and gave him a really big hug. He said, "Let bygones be bygones." WWE most likely does not want you to know about the ugly situation that happened way back in 2006. And that is it for the video, guys. As always, thanks for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Pllana. Check out my other channels, Official Life Facts and No Love VP. And I'll see you all later.